It is the waning minutes of August 1st, 2011. Twilight of our constitutional republic. And though I would love to go to bed right now, I'm going to be up for many hours researching what is happening. Because I've studied history, I've studied our constitutional republic, and I realize what is unfolding. For those that don't know, the House of Representatives, about 4 hours ago, passed legislation that is now going to the Senate tomorrow, and if the Senate says they have the votes to pass, to transfer total control over who can introduce laws to a council of 12 members, 6 House, 6 Senate, with the president sitting as the head or the mayor of the system with the veto power. A 13-member council. Incredibly cryptic. And in the last few hours, I have read ABC News, CBS News, I've shot videos, I've shown you the text, where they openly admit, yes, there won't be any more filibusters, there won't be any more amendments, other members of the House and Senate, they won't introduce bills anymore, our system for 235 years. No, the council will create the legislation, and then it will go to an up or down vote in the House and Senate. That's never happened before. That violates the Constitution. It says that these spending bills have to start in the House. It takes 2/3 majority for most of these bills. It's designed to not let corrupt groups or oligarchies or a dictator ram things through. It says they will introduce it, they will package it, and if the House and Senate don't vote for it, you can't make this stuff up. I showed you ABC and CBS earlier. That then the council will decide and go ahead with the cuts. So you do what the council gives you, you go with what they give you, or take it or leave it, or they go ahead and do what they want. I mean, this is so transparent, it's a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, I get emails and calls from a minority of people saying, why do you care if we live under a tyranny? So what if one president runs things? So what are you so worried about? Those are from ignorant people that haven't studied history. There are powerful corporate ruthless interests that will take everything we've got, that will tax the daylights out of us and transfer it to themselves in sweetheart deals in corporate welfare. The globalists are monopoly men. As John D. Rockefeller, the founder of the dynasty, said, competition is a sin. And so at this point, I don't even know what to say to you. I mean, this is so off the chart. And it's all part of a larger spectrum of things that I've mentioned in other videos, where wars are launched without congressional approval, where carbon taxes are levied without congressional approval, where waivers are given to the executive branch's insider buddies and contributors to be exempt from laws they pass. The very groups that write the laws are then exempt. They're passing it to shut down their competition. This is naked fascism. They socialize our wealth and socialize losses, privatize profits for themselves. Our hedge of protection, our shields are dropping. Tyranny is the norm. Governments in the 20th century killed over 200 million people. In fact, in my end game, I give the number of 200 million. Since then, I've done more research. It's closer to 280 million. Governments kill more people than any other non-natural death, more than automobile accidents, more than drug overdoses, more than drowning, electrocution, gunshots, even more than war. Governments. Because when you don't have a rule of law, when you don't bound down corrupt individuals, when you don't have rules that protect everyone, the worst elements of society get in control and they get away with more and more. And we've been tested. The system has tested us and seen that they're able to get away with anything. And so it gets crazier and crazier. You know, last year I was really freaked out when I drove down the road, listening to XM, was listening to BBC News. And they got a 10-minute news report admitting that the U.S. and British troops helped grow the opium and had all these excuses for why they do it. I already knew that that was going on, and that opium production had gone from 10% in the world in 2001 to 93% in 2010, 2011. I already knew the big banks had been caught laundering the money and didn't in trouble, but to have them admit it. And then Fox News and ABC News and Geraldo Rivera came out and said how patriotic it was to grow opium. But then if they catch some idiot using it here domestically, that their system sold it to them, they put you in a private prison, working for 25 cents an hour, driving down the wages. And it just goes on and on and on. We are unleashing the worst elements of society. Ruthless 21st century robber barons. And we'll look back at August 1st, 2011 and think that was tame in comparison from what comes. We'll look back on March of this year when Obama launched a war and Congress said, we're warmongers. We'd like to give you the authority, but you have to come to us. And he said, I don't need you. I have the UN, and issued a letter saying, this is for the credibility of the UN. It's about them being the boss. You can pull that up. I mean, my God. Is there nothing they won't get away with? They have sold us on preemptive aggressive wars, everything else. Do you think the globalists love us, the American people, while they hate everybody else and killed over 1 million Iraqis in the last 8 years? Do you think that they won't do to us the things they've done to others if we'll put up with it? These are hardcore, ruthless, sadomasochistic, psychopathic conquerors with an army of sociopaths paid for with your tax money that will do whatever they're told. I'm reaching out to the military, to the police, and others to study history. I know your gut and your instincts tell you we're in trouble, but I'm asking you to intellectually, historically, scientifically, look into what we're talking about here, and then ask yourself, what side are you on? Choose wisely, because this is a decision that you will make in eternity, in your family name, in your family's future. Do you think any of us are safe while this is going on? Do you think any of you are exempt from what's happening? The globalists are here. They will not give us quarter. They are not going to back off. And without a bang but with a whimper, they just announce their new system like it's no big deal. And it'll all go into a lawyer process, and the media won't even discuss it. We think it's all about a debt increase. It was all about changing our form of government in a huge way. Who needs states? We have the federal government. Who needs a Congress? We have a president. And we have his 12-member council at the federal level. We have 10 governors that ignore what the other 40 governors want as part of a council. We have a rural council. It's all being set up under Agenda 21 and the globalist takeover. We're seeing the birth of world government under the control of a bunch of ruthless bankers who are funding eugenics and who think we're a bunch of trash. And they say, hey, we're doing this, the public isn't awake. We have a right to rule them because they don't resist. They don't fight back. It's time to get the word out. It's time to grow up. It's time to admit what we're facing. Let me briefly show you a couple of points here. This is from dictionary.com. Treason. And let me give you the definitions of treason. The offense of acting to overthrow one's government or to harm or kill its sovereign, which is the people in America are the sovereigns. We are the power. Well, they are overthrowing our republic via lawyer-like tactics. Definition number 2, a violation of allegiance to one's sovereign or to one's state, the United States. This is a violation of the Constitution, the documents of the sovereign, the people, Declaration of Independence. Number 3, the betrayal of the trust or confidence, breach of faith, treachery. Yes, that is treason, my friends. And then there's this article that I showed in an earlier video, but you got to go look at it for yourself. A summary of the debt ceiling. And it says down here in the article that if Congress doesn't do what the commission says, the 12-member commission with the president as the 13th member, that they will then implement the tax increases and the slashing of the, quote, entitlements. And when you read deeper, as Gun Owners of America and others have exposed, you then learn the big secret. There's gun control. There's everything under the sun here. You want to live under a dictatorship, folks? You are a dictatorship of the bankers. Spread the word. Warn the people. Defend the republic. Defend liberty. You have been warned.